Hello, this will be my first appearance on YouTube. The topic will be textures, materials and PBR. My hot take is a mesh without a material has no identity. So let's take a look at this. What you can see here is just a cube. You can see the wireframe of it, but you don't know what it actually is. It could be an ice cube, it could be a dice, it could be a cube out of wood, you don't know. So that's why the material is important to identify what this cube really is. We are here in Unreal Engine. This will be our scene we are working with today. So let's start. First, let's create the material. Right click, material, for master material, and now cube. Press enter. And now let's assign this master material to the cube. We search here in the outliner for this cube. It is this one. Materials, cube. Cube. And now it's assigned. So let's edit this material here. Press on it. So the best thing here is I will just show you. You will see what I mean then. So for the first step, let's press 3 on the keyboard and left click. You get this, and now you press on it, pick your color. Okay, and now plug this into that. Save it. And now you can see it here. This is step 1. And now let's go to step 2. For step 2, press 1 and left click. You get this. And now you have to think about, is your material metallic, yes or no? If no, leave it at 0. If yes, change it to 1. And then plug it into the metallic. So now this material is metallic. Add it here. And now let's talk about the roughness. So I'm back. What we are doing is called the PBR workflow. PBR stands for physical based rendering. So basically we try to simulate real life. And for example, for the roughness, I can show you it in real life. This here is plexiglass, acrylic, something like that. You can see through it because it has a flat surface. You can even see the reflection here. And it is not metallic, just for a small recap. So it would be a 0 in metallic. And now what happened if I roughen this surface up with this sandpaper? This takes a bit of a while. So here you can see the result. The result is, well, you can't see through it anymore, because what's happening here is the light got trapped in those, let's call it those micro surface or the micro roughness or something like that, because basically the light hits the surface here, it reflects in it, bam, 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 and then basically it for every bounce, it loses kind of strength or something like that. And here, where you can see through basically the light, because now it's, well, you can see through it, it has an opacity. This hits the light, it kind of gets scattered in this material and it goes through, and also a portion goes back to your eyes. So what I'm trying to do, basically this is a very important thing. It's how the light interacts with the surface. Here is the light spreaded across this rough surface and it loses its capability, or basically it got weakened, or it's spreading out and it won't reflect back to your eye or the camera. And here it got reflected basically back to you, or in this case it goes through it without much, I don't know, redirection or something like that. That's a really important concept to understand. And now let's make it in Unreal. Back to Unreal. So we are back in Unreal. Let's add the roughness, press 1 and left click. So for starters, let's make it a rough number. So 1 is, let's put in here 1, and I'll put in here the roughness. So what we currently have is a rough metal cube. And now when I change the metallic value to 0, this is how a rough non-metallic cube looks like. And now we change the roughness. So here, this is now a non-metallic cube with a flat surface. You can see it kind of reflects the light here and it looks like this. And now let's make it also a flat surface and a metal cube. It looks like this. And please don't forget that the roughness is a range, so you can add a 0.0 here and it will look like this. This is really how far you can go with just those three things. Everything that's a bit more complicated, you have to introduce textures. And that's what we're gonna do now. So let's delete those and save it. Now we have basically a blank material, gray. And now let's add the color. Drag and drop and add it here. Now our cube is a dice. Step 1. And now let's go to step 2, the metallic. So for the metallic, let's go to the texture, metallic. So what you see here is black and white. Black means 0. White means 1. So the numbers are non-metallic. The other part, so the cube, is metallic. And now we drag this in here, put it in the metallic, save it again. So you can see here it has a metallic sheen to it. And the numbers don't look metallic. And now for the roughness. And again, we take the roughness texture, drag and drop. Let's inspect that. So this here is not white, but we can say, well, it's, let's say, 0.8 or something like that, and this looks like, I don't know, 0.1 or something like that. So that means this part is rough and this isn't. Let's see. Let's put it in the roughness. Save it again. So it kind of got rougher and the numbers are shiny, as you can see now, because, well, it was a 0.0 something like that, and the metallic part got the roughness of 0.8 or something like that. So that's why it looks like this. And now for the normal map. The normal map looks like this, and what it does, it basically manipulates how the light that hits the surface gets reflected to create basically an illusion of depth. And you can do very cool things with it. Let's just add it here. Take a look at that cube. Take a look at those edges from the numbers. And now again. Well, it looks like a bit indented. It's a very small change, but it is a very powerful texture and you can do really cool things with it, but it's a bit complicated, or should I say it's a more advanced texture. But for the basic, it's that. It creates fake geometry, the illusion of depth. These are the basics for you to understand. We finished our material, but now comes the important part, lighting. That can break your material when not done good. So let's take a look. So we are here in Unreal. This cube here is that. And now, the thing here is we can change how the light works here in Unreal. The problem is there is no limitation. So we can make crazy light, really crazy light that don't even exist in real life. So we can get kind of weird results because, well, the workflow is based on real life or how real life works, but when we change our light to something weird that don't even exist or isn't even possible in real life, we can get really weird results. For example, when I just pump the light, I don't know, intensity up here to this, what is even this? That's not even possible in real life, or I don't know. So we can make this part is basically the unreal part. Yay. So let's go back to the normal intensity. So we can change the intensity of the light, but we can also change the tint of the light to something like this. And now I put the intensity up again, and now we have that. So now we just basically make something completely different from what we just saw by just changing the light setup. And when you mess too much with your light, it can get really weird. So just make sure to make it consistent or keep it believable That's the important part. Especially when you come from the texturing software to Unreal, your texture or your material will look different because, well, the light setup is different. So this is a bit the tricky part. There is one more thing I want to share with you, and it is try to make believable materials, not realistic materials. With that said, I'm out. Bye.